Fatherhood. This is something that with my first son, I would hear all the time people say, "Oh, you're such a great father. Like you're a great dad. Your son is gonna grow up to be just like you." Let's say, cool, but I'm not going to wear that title as being a great father or a great dad or anything. At least not right now. I have so much work to do to live up to that. Don't tell me that now. I don't want to get comfortable with hearing that title over and over again. What ended up happening is I would tell people, hey, when he turns 35, he's married, he is doing good and well for himself. Then you can turn to me and say, oh, you're a great dad. I'll accept that then. But I was putting all of these different uh, reasonings or stumbling blocks on him without even telling him or without being that example that I needed to be to show him one, what a man is, two, how to be a father, because I didn't have that example growing up. I didn't have a father in the home to show me this is one, what a man is, two, how to be a father. There were men in my life, but not a father. So, how could I be that to my oldest son? It's been a struggle, it's been a journey to try and mentor and motivate him and get him on the right path of where he needs to be so that he can realize all of his potential. Then I started all over again with the chunk. And it's that same process, that same thing. Oh, you're such a great father and this and that. It's like, still, once again, I learned how to be a man at 27. And as time goes on, I'm learning how to be a father. I learned how to be a father, a part time father, every other weekend because that's all that I could get. That's what was allowed by the court. So that's how I was a father to him, instilling in just a few hours what I believed it should be, what a man should do, how my parenting style differs from everyone else's parenting style. And all I had to base things on is how my mother treated me. That still wasn't education from a father. That wasn't seeing fatherhood. That was seeing a single mother trying to parent and raise a boy. Now that I am an older adult, I am married, I have done all of these different things, all of these occupations, all of these different living situations to now have a house that I'm trying to provide an inheritance. What does an inheritance look like? What does an inheritance biblically look like? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And how do I struggle to obtain that? I have so many people that have so many different examples of how that's supposed to work out. I have all of these years of education and skills and talents and all of that that I try to pour into my sons. But for all of that to blossom out, it's going to take some time that I don't know if I will be around for or have the patience to deal with. Because if they start going astray and I'm still trying to figure it out, how do I reel them back in? How do I get them back focused? I can point to the word, but if they aren't ready to receive the word, which both of them are, but maybe it's not clicking, I have to give them some grace because I walked away from the word when I was 16, 17, and I didn't get back to things until I was 37. So, how can I expect them to already get it when it took me all those years to actually get it? All of those life experiences without the grace of the Father guiding me. How am I supposed to say to them, well, you should know what to do now? How could you know it if I didn't teach you? That's where you read time and time again the biblical prophecies of these curses. It's going to happen generation after generation because once that education from the Most High comes to you and you pass it on to the next generation, and then they pass it on to the next generation, but that next generation doesn't adhere to it and starts to lose it, then that breaks the cycle. So then it gets lost again until somebody else comes back to the Father's word looking for the Father's guidance so that they are given another chance to try and instill that information in their sons so that their sons stay on that pathway and teach their sons. And then that cycle repeats itself. But if it gets lost, if there is a failure, that whole line, that whole lineage gets cut off. I'm trying to graft myself back into the tree of life because of all of the things that I've done. And if you look at it on paper, the things that I've done are not as great as those that have done terrible things, and some in the name of the Father. I repent daily. I give thanks daily. Those little things I'm trying to get my sons to do so that when they have sons, they can instill that in their sons. And then they can point back to their father and say, this is why I did it, because my father taught me. How did he get it? Did his father teach him that? No, his earthly father didn't teach him that. The Most High did. And that is why we do the things that we do. That is why we have this inheritance, this blessing of where we live. This you're able to eat every day. You're able to hunt every day. You're able to take care of your animals every day. Not everybody gets to do this. When I was young, used to get that commercial that would come on, the little African child with a fly crawling on his face. For 70 cents, you can feed this child for a year. I didn't get it then. There are people that their lineages were cut off from the Father, so they're out there fending for themselves with nothing, with no father to guide them, because maybe their father went to war and died, but nobody stepped up to guide them after that loss. I wasn't abandoned due to war. I don't know why my actual father wasn't there. I know at some point through my fight career, my half brother finds me off of Facebook saying that, hey, I think you're my brother. I live a couple of blocks from you because my dad told me that you are my brother. So I go meet him, try to build some type of relationship, meet my other siblings that I haven't met. And then I find out later on that he was hiding in the bushes because he was afraid to meet me. Why? I don't know. But that is his way, his fear of being a father. He wasn't able to step up and be a man that he should. Maybe he never learned how to be a man from his father. I don't know. I don't know him. I don't know anything about him. I don't know about the life he lived. But my sons are going to know the life that I lived, the good, the bad, the ugly. They're going to see who I am, who I've become, because I want them to see the honesty in me on how I struggled, how I wasn't sure, how I wasn't confident, how I desired certain things, how I grinded and struggled for things, as I still do to this day. It's still a struggle every day, trying to keep food in their bellies, trying to keep a roof over their heads, while also trying to care for so many in camp, tribe, world, community, all of these places, trying to be strong for others that can't be strong for themselves, like my father wasn't. I have to be that strength, that foundation, so that I can inspire other boys to become men, men of Elohim. Without that strength being beamed out, that light hitting them, they'll never know. Because that almost happened to me. I almost went through life completely lost and confused because I didn't know or see that light. I had to become that light. And that's where I am now. I'm trying to be that light to shine for my sons, for everyone that I come in contact with, so they know and understand he's different. Whenever people meet my sons, they always say they're different. That's just what I have to continue to be. This isn't a fix all type thing. This is that lifelong journey that I have to stay diligent at excelling at. Because if not, in the end, when I meet Elohim and he asks me or tells me that I was a good father, I'll be able to say, thank you. While on earth, I couldn't say that I was. I continue to try to become better. And that's all that I could do, is work on being better every day. Thank y'all. Shalom.